Hello everyone, Santan2, welcome to another mod overview, this time on good old Regen, a fabric mod that simply adds the ability for you to change regeneration to be like it was before Minecraft 1.9. So, you can configure specifically regeneration and starvation in a config file, as you can see here. There is no mod menu access to this, so you do have to go the actual text document route of going straight to .minecraft and then config, and you'll find it here, which you can access, of course, via resource packs. Whoops, not language, resource packs. Go in here, go out, go to configs, and you have access to it. So we'll just sort of go with, oops, I didn't mean to do that. We'll just go with the default, of course, and see what happens. So I'm in normal, of course, and we'll just test on a cactus with health. We'll just see what happens. So we're gonna hunger going and see what happens with health regen. So still not, because it's obviously not at half, so that's fine. So we'll go, I don't know, we'll just do cookies or something, because they're not gonna fill too much. With our hunger bar. Let's see what happens. So I think it's what you'd expect. So obviously it's not taking as long as it does usually, or where you've got obviously a full hunger bar, and it'll take however long too. So I think it's a bit quicker. It's been a while since I've used older versions and really looked at how much quicker it is for health regen with hunger. But I do know that it is much slower, or much different in the versions, of course. But, so yeah. Now in the config file, of course, you've got the ability to change the actual. I should put this into Notepad++. Let's see, make it easier to sort of read it. There we go. So here we go. We'll go. Let's see. Not copying it. I'll just open it. So we'll open in here. There we go. We don't need that anymore. Alright. So we can change the duration in ticks, which is 80 by default. You've got the exhaustion number. So how much exhaustion should saturation regeneration cause, which is 6 by default. How much saturation regeneration heals. So there's 1.0. So I assume maybe that's the highest, for example, and then it's points for others, I'm not sure. Then again, it does seem to be there's a lot of larger numbers for these, I'm not sure. Again, having the mod menu equivalent would kind of make it clear. Also another notes of what the max or default is. You've got the how much should saturation regeneration heal, which we've done that, sorry, I mean this one. Should saturation regen ignore natural regeneration game rule? So if you've got the natural regeneration game rule considered, then obviously it'll act accordingly, depending on what you've got it as. So I've got it as by default. You've got the amount of food required for that, so you've got 20, which I assume is pretty much how much it counts for that. So technically I assume instead of it being like the 1.5 that it doesn't count, then it's different. But again, I thought that was 20 on its own because there's the halves. Just similar to health. Maybe not. So do you have to have a full one for it to do that? Then again, there is the other consideration. So maybe it's just for this feature compared to the other where it's just doing the following. I'm not an expert at health regen and saturation and exhaustion, so apologize for that. Let's see, you've got duration and ticks between food-based regeneration, so you can make that longer or shorter. You've got how much exhaustion should food regen cause, so you've got 0.6 there. You've got how much should food regeneration heal, so that's 1.0, which I think is similar to, so that's saturation and that's food regen. So saturation obviously is the like over amount, of course, which you notice a lot more with like the mod apple skin. It's got like sort of the outline around it. So obviously, or I guess maybe it's sort of jumping each time, I guess, technically. So obviously you can change that and how much of a difference food regeneration benefits compared to saturation regeneration for those two. You've got the amount of food required for food-based regen. So if you need a lot more than 18, which obviously again that's the 1.5 sort of consideration there. So the 2, I guess, you'd have one of those off and one of those off, and then so on. So that's where you can set that, I assume. You get the duration of ticks between the player taking damage from starvation. So actually, give ourselves the hunger effect here. And besides what it'll do, we'll just go here and here, and we'll leave the effect right after and see how long it takes. But again, this is in ticks, so it is still fairly quick. Just do that, and how long is it going to be for health? There we go, so that's how long that's taking. So immediately after, so every so often of course, so that's changing that. You've got the amount of damage taken from starving, which obviously is not very much, so it's obviously half rather than 1 whole heart. I don't know if that's just because of the difficulty rune either. I don't think that changes anything. No, it doesn't, except the fact that obviously we'll completely be defeated in that way. And then we've got the should starvation suddenly kill. So if you want that to be possible, then you can. Which again, technically that works in hard difficulties, so I assume if technically you already had this in easy and normal difficulty, then maybe it would basically be, if you've completely been starved, then it will. Unless this is a way of not just it whittling down your health, but it's just immediately after your hunger bar is empty, it instantly kills you, which is more so what I assume it does. We'll try with true, and reload, and I don't think it's going to kick in. No, okay, so we got that, and we'll just go, for example, hunger. Nope, okay. Effect clear, what happens now at 1 heart? Nothing. Okay, because we are on normal, so that's not going to harm us at all. But that seems to be pretty much it, as far as I can tell. There's a lot, obviously, you can configure. If you know a lot more about this than I do, then obviously you've got a lot more that you can customize accordingly for each of the different aspects, compared to me just kind of showing what I do understand and some aspects I don't. But yeah, you got a lot more to customize than just what there obviously usually is for the typical sort of state of hunger, regeneration, health regeneration, food aspects, and saturation and exhaustion. Or absorption maybe even, I don't know. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.